You're listening to Online Pet Health Podcasts with Dr. Megan Kelly. Continuing education for veterinarian rehabilitation therapists. Learn more at onlinepethealth.com.
Hey Vet Rehabbers, February is Onlinepethealth's birthday month and I really cannot believe it is our 5th birthday. In February 2017, I officially started Onlinepethealth. It was just me in the beginning and I did everything from website development, hosting of the webinars, CPD accreditation, sales, marketing, the list goes on. In July 2017, Michelle joined me and the Onlinepethealth team started, and now today we have a team of 12 people. So we've come a long way since 2017. One of the things we pride ourselves in is that we're constantly innovating. We're coming up with new and exciting ways to support and serve you, the vet rehabbers. So you guys can look forward to some exciting changes happening in March this year. So if you're not already a member, you can go to onlinepethealth.com and find out more. If you're not on our email list, please come and join us. We have a limited access membership too, which is 100% free, and you can go to onlinepethealth.com/free to sign up. As we prepare for the year ahead, I thought it was really a good idea to look at ourselves and make sure that we are mentally prepared for 2022. So having the right mindset is so important for us from a clinical perspective, but also from a business perspective. And often what we are subconsciously thinking and telling ourselves can negatively affect our performance and treatments. And this can create self-doubt to creep in, leading to anxiety and sometimes even to imposter syndrome. The worst part about it is that we often don't even realize we are self-sabotaging our own success. So today I'm going to chat with Nicola Kinnard Comedy. She's from NKC Equestrian, and we're going to chat all about how we can create a mindset to excel in practice. Over to Nicola. Hey Vet Rehabbers, thank you so much for joining us. Hey Nicola, thanks for joining me live today.
Hi, lovely to be here again.
From NKC Equestrian, and she helps horse owners, but as well as vet rehab or therapists in the equestrian world to succeed and excel in practice. So I'm very excited to have you on, Nicola. Thank you so much for joining me.
Oh, my pleasure. I am delighted to be here helping everybody as well this morning.
So our topic today that we're going to chat about is mindset. Before we dive deep into that, I thought maybe if you could just introduce yourself, tell us what exactly you do and how you help people, and then start off with your journey into self-development. I listened to your training. So Nicola did, for the Online Pet Health members, we have this business basics area where we talk about all things business and basically get lots of therapists in that have all different advice on how to excel and succeed in practice. So Nicola is going to be doing a whole lot of training for us, which I'm really excited. I loved your first one. She's going to be teaching us on how to excel in practice. So let's chat about how you started off your self-development and a little bit about what you do.
Yeah, sure. Well, I'm going to wind back. I'll start you off with my horsey and business journey. So typical penny mad girl. I qualified as a riding instructor a really, really long time ago, and I spent a good 15 years teaching people to ride horses. Absolutely loved it. Horses have been incredible, taken me around the world. I've had some amazing horse experiences. I then sort of fell out of love of running a really big equestrian centre because I found that actually my teaching was less than as teaching, more and more mucking out. And I thought, no, this is what I want. This is what I've got a master's degree for. And I took a corporate job in sales and marketing for about 4 or 5 years. Really, really enjoyed it. But I wasn't using my horsey skills. So that is how I came to where I am now. I basically designed my dream job, and some of it was a happy coincidence, but that really was what I always wanted, was to use all my pony stuff, my master's degree, all the science, and my love of sales and marketing. So I learned so much in a corporate environment. I really loved it. But I wanted to get back with horses. I wanted to be serving more people than I could with just one riding lesson at a time. You know, I'd loved that for so many years. But I was like, I know I could be having a bigger impact. So I set up my business 4 years ago. Initially, as you said, Megan, helping horse owners. I ran horse aid courses together with qualified vets. Brilliant. Absolutely loved it. Went all around the country, had an online element. It was really, really fab. And I was having more and more therapists come on my courses. And I was chatting to them about how was the business going, and I was growing my business, and business advice was kind of falling out of me. Even if they didn't want it, I couldn't help but go, oh, have you tried this and have you tried that? And I realized there were so many therapists who needed help with their business. And I just felt this massive calling to help them, because I know that's my mission, is to help more horses. And I know that if I can help people who already help horses, well, then together we can help even more horses. So that is a slightly long-winded answer as to how I set up my business and how it became what it is today. 2 sides: business coaching for practitioners and also horse care. And wow, it's been such a journey. It's been super, super fun. Now, Megan, you asked, how did I get into all the personal development stuff? Well, something that's always really interests me. With a background in teaching, I've been coaching riders for years and years and years. It's always interested me, like motivation and what, getting to the root of the issue with somebody, because I don't know, they're lacking confidence going into canter, for example. It's never really about the canter. There's always something deeper. So I've always had a kind of lucky skill and knack to just try and hone in on the root problem. I guess that journey started a really long time ago. But where I really put a lot of emphasis on personal development myself was when I realised that I was doing lots of things with my business and I was getting results, but I was also getting frustrated because I wasn't getting the results I wanted. And that is when I realised that I was both the best thing in my business and also the worst. So working on myself was the key to unlocking so much. And that's what enabled me to grow my business without working 70, 80-hour weeks. Because I think we've all been there and I had no wish to repeat that. So it's been an absolute whirlwind. I have learned so much. And then now to have the skills and training to be able to help other people is fantastic.
What are the most common mindset issues that you see people have? Because I mean, if I think about it, I've also been there, have realized like I'm actually somehow sabotaging my own growth, when I had my practice. But when you're in it, it takes something to happen for you to actually realize that. So most of the time you don't realize that your mindset is actually the problem.
Yeah, definitely. So I think the most common things I see are people like not believing in themselves and people not feeling that what they offer is enough. Like, will people want it? This is where social media is absolutely fantastic. I've grown my business on social media. I'm very thankful for it. But if you are comparing yourself to other therapists all the time, it can just really put you into such a negative place. I think if you've already got that, will I cut it? Will it work? And then you use social, the negative side of social, you're scrolling and comparing yourself to others, the others' best highlights, edited moments, you can just really feel quite rubbish. And then that just gets people to a point where they aren't taking action. They aren't moving their business forward. And I think that is really the biggest blocker. And time would be the other one. Anybody involved with animals is always going to be busy, but you can get yourself in such a negative place around time. And I've been there. We were just talking about that before we started this recording, Megan. And it just is going to just hold you back. Are you busy being busy? Or are you busy moving your business forward? Is time working for you or is time working against you? Because we all have the same 24 hours and it's all about making that time work for you.
Yeah. So I actually watched your training before we did this live. So yesterday I thought, let me go and listen to that whole training that's on our business basics area. And I want to thank you because it was such a big change for me. I was like, I've got a 6-month-old baby and I'm exactly like that right now. I don't have time. I'm juggling all these different balls and I just feel like my kids are going back to school. There's so much on the go. And I was like, my mindset was like, I don't have time to do all the things that I want to do. And I keep saying it and I keep saying it to my team and to my PA. Oh, she told me something. I'll be like, I don't have time. And it's just constant, reminding myself that I don't have the time. And so after watching your training, I was like, I got to stop this now. I'm taking control of my time. Thank you for that. So you got me out of that bad zone.
Oh, pleasure.
One of the things which I think about in vet rehab is that they often feel like they don't have time for. So we always have a lot of time for our patients, right? So we have time to do our consults and maybe time to doing exercises with them and going to check on the underwater treadmill. And then there's a different side of the business, which is really important for the growth of the business. And that's the marketing side of things. So marketing is something that I'm always trying to help vet rehabbers with, because I see a lot of them, spending a lot of time on consulting and seeing their patients, and then wondering why they don't have enough patients, wondering why their practice isn't growing. But then when it comes to the marketing side, they're just not spending the time. So I'm just going to quote you. So one of the things you said, and I thought this was just such a great quote: marketing is simple. It's basically telling people how you help them. But if you don't believe it, how will you convince them? So yeah, it was so, and it really hit home for me. And I thought about it, that's why they don't want to market, because their mindset is not right. For some reason, they lack confidence, or they don't believe in themselves enough to be able to shout out to everyone to say, hey, here I am. This is what I can do. And, what they can do is amazing. That's the crazy thing, is that they, in ways, perform miracles, really, if you think about it.
Wow.
Animals that are in extreme pain that vets often don't know what to do with. They put them on every single veterinary pain and anti-inflammatory protocol that they can. They've operated, and yet still the animal is in discomfort, and it doesn't have the mobility that they want. And then the vet rehabber comes in, and suddenly the dog has got a new, different quality of life. They should believe in themselves. So I'd love to chat more about that mindset, and how this mindset of them, not basically believing in themselves, is affecting their marketing, and what they can do to change it.
Oh, brilliant question. Thanks so much, Megan. Well, I can see that really as twofold, because like you said, if you don't believe that you're amazing, that you as a therapist is going to get great results, why will you tell anybody? And marketing simply is just telling people how you can help them. There's several caveats, I think, to that I didn't know when I started my business. People say no. People say no all the time. We say no to things all the time. I mean, imagine if you said yes to every single advert, every single flyer, thing on TV, social, magazine. You'd be exhausted and totally broke. Like, it's not possible. You hear no in business, and you just, in a really nice way, and I mean this with all the love, you have to get over that, because it's not personal. So realize you're going to hear no. No company, no brand has 100% hit rate, success rate on selling anything. So you're going to hear no, and that can't derail you. And when people are like, oh, I don't know if this is going to work, and then someone goes, oh, no, I'm right, thanks, or oh, yeah, maybe, but no, I think I'm okay. It just totally knocks them off course. So I think it's important to know that is one of the fundamental things you're going to hear. You are going to hear no, but you will also hear plenty of yeses. So if you don't really feel secure in the results that you're getting, that's where why would you contact more vet practices? Why would you go live on Facebook? Why would you find opportunities to promote yourself and your business? Because the opportunities are there. They really are. And I really think changing this mindset, the first thing to do is focus on the results that you get. Just like you said, you guys are out there every day changing lives, making such a difference. You are probably a lot of animals' last chance saloon. Yeah. And you come in, you just need a cape. You come in, all guns blazing, and get the job done. And I think actually focusing on what the success that you have, and acknowledging it. Certainly, I think in the veterinary world, and definitely in the horsey world, we're like, right, yes, I've done that, on to the next thing. We never give ourselves just a second to say, hey, you did an amazing job with that. Whether that was doing a Facebook Live, or whether it was, changing the life of a dog or a horse. And that is so important. So my first thing, getting out of this mindset place, would be to recognize some of your greatest successes. Now, I love getting people, you can do 10, you can do 20 for extra brownie points. Just write a list of things you're proud of. It doesn't all have to be business related. But once you start, it could just be qualifying, setting up your business, might be family. There'll be cases where you'll be like, oh yes, I did make a big difference. So focus on what you've already done, and review that list. You can have it stuck up in your car, on the front of the fridge or something, or take a photo, look at it on your phone, share it on social. Like, why not start telling the world what you've already done? Remind yourself what you've already achieved. Next thing is really identify, like, what makes you unique and special. So we're focusing on what you've already done, but like, what's your superpower as a therapist? I love asking people this question because I'm like, oh, I don't know. But we've all got something. It could be the fact, well, like, let's take you, Megan. It could be the fact you are juggling 3 children. And that just means that you have to be mega organized, that you have to be on it, and that you just get stuff done. You don't have time to overthink. You're just going to crack on with it. And those are all brilliant attributes in business. For somebody else, it might be the fact that they've overcome some kind of adversity. It might be the fact that they trained for a marathon and completed it. It could be something unrelated to business, but it makes you you, and it gives you something unique. So your success list, your epic list, first thing. Second thing is find your superpower as a therapist. And then when you do, and you really think about the results you get, you will find you'll be in a much different place, a much more positive place to actually start telling other people about what you do. And then I think the other issue therapists have with marketing is they don't know what steps to take. And I'm happy to outline some suggestions if that's what you'd like.
I completely agree. They just don't know where to start. It's so overwhelming for them. And it is overwhelming marketing. I mean, there's so many things. There's like social media, like what should you be doing? Should you be posting on social media? Should you be doing ads? Should you be putting something in a magazine? Should you be networking? Like there's so many different things. And I think sometimes they just get so overwhelmed. And that overwhelm just leads to them just saying, I'm just not going to do anything because I don't know what to do. But I think tapping into the marketing strategy, I think, will be great for another Facebook Live. I think we'll definitely tackle that because trying to give them some direction, I think, will really help step-by-step process. When you were chatting now about them looking at like what their superpower is, and one of the things that I picked up on your training was you mentioned about the conscious and the subconscious mind. And for example, with me saying all the time, now I don't have enough time, I'd love you to just explain that to the vet rehabbers about, when you're saying these things constantly or even thinking them, what it's actually doing to you and the actions that are actually taking place because of them. So like, sort of like you putting it out there into the universe. I don't have enough time. So I don't have enough time.
Yeah, totally. So as you just said, Megan, your brain is 2 parts, conscious, subconscious or unconscious part. The conscious bit is when, like for example, when you learn to drive a car and you are having to give yourself step-by-step instructions. Okay, clutch, mirror, signal. You're really having to think. Now, if we had to live our whole lives consciously thinking of every task we had to do, it would be exhausting. Imagine even brushing your teeth. That would be quite hard, wouldn't it? Okay, toothpaste on, this hand engaged, it'd be hard work, wouldn't it? So thankfully, we do a lot of things on autopilot, and that is your subconscious. It has programming. It's where you get memories stored, emotions, feelings, and it's actually controlling up to 97% of our actions. So we can consciously, and this is where I see people getting in a bit of a pickle with mindset. Consciously, people are like, oh yeah, I want more clients. Oh yes, I want more money. Yes, I want to grow my business. But that is only a really small percent of their brain. So they're thinking this, but then they're like, where are the results? And then if you ask them a few more questions and drill in their mental programming, if you think of your subconscious as being like a computer, this is the setup basically that's making it work, is actually saying things like, you're too busy, I don't know, you're not good enough, or people don't want to hear from you, or why would anybody want to book you, or something like that. And then they won't be taking the action because, as I said, this is what's controlling your day, your life. So when you have your subconscious rewired, reprogrammed for success, imagine like on my computer all the time it's going, do you want a system upgrade? And I was like, oh, I'll do that tomorrow. Your brain needs a system upgrade, because we get this mental programming largely when we're really young, between 0 and 7. That's when our brain's in a different state, different brainwave state. And that's when we just take all the information that comes from all the different sources and we pretty much absorb it as fact. We aren't able to rationalize. For example, I don't know, someone's a little bit cross, a parent or a grandparent or someone at school. We're not able to think, oh, they're just having a bad day or they're just a bit stressed. We think, oh, it's all about me. And that can have a real knock-on effect later on in life. And of course, between 0 and 7, we're not thinking, that's not a helpful belief for business later on in life, I'll just reject that one. You know, we have this programming, but you can change it. That is the good news. So when you have your system upgrade for business success, your brain, your subconscious will be constantly looking for opportunities. You know, you have this clever part of your brain, part of your subconscious brain called the reticular activating system. And you will have used it. Everybody watching, everybody listening will have used this at some point. If you think to yourself, I want a whatever type of car, say I want a Toyota, or I want a black horse, or I want these particular riding boots. It's like you've put this into your mental Google, and then everywhere you go, all you will see is Toyotas or black horses or this particular brand of boots. And you're like, really? Everyone's got a Toyota or whatever the car is. Everyone's only got a black horse. No, it was there all along. You've just told your brain, hone in on this. And that's amazing. But if you are searching for the wrong keywords, effectively, if you've got the wrong things in your brain, that's what your subconscious will find you. So let's take time as an example. If you tell yourself, I do not have time, I'm so busy, I'm so busy, I'm so busy, all that will get dished up to you is more busyness. If you believe there's too much competition in your area, I hear that quite a lot, so many people in my area, so your brain's like, oh, find other people in the area. That's all you will see is examples of other people. So getting this programming right will really enable people to start taking action. Because like I said, there's opportunities just within like touching distance of everybody, I believe. And when you are mentally rewired to look for them, they just come flooding to you. Like we're like magnets all the time. And if your magnets are set to an amount of time, that's what you just keep drawing in. You know, what you put out is what you get back. If you are putting out there, I want to work with more people, I want to network, I want to find my next clients, that's what will come your way. So I think that's probably the best way to explain quite a complicated, large subject in a few minutes. But I think just think of your brain as like a computer. It probably needs a system upgrade.
I love that. That's a great way to explain it. And I think back to myself when I was in practice, and you know, like sometimes I would be in a really good mindset, and especially when things are going really well. And if I think about it, sometimes you just need a little bit of a recheck, you know, because what would happen is like I'd feel good and my mindset would be good, and I'd be like, things are going well, and my consult book is booked up. And then I would, you know, it'll be like Thursday, and then I'd say, like, let's see what's happening next week. And then I'd look at my consult book and I'd be like, oh my gosh, I have like 1 consult booked on Monday and 2 on Tuesday and nobody on Wednesday. And before that, like the week, like last 2 weeks, maybe I was seeing like 8 patients a day. And then I would start to panic, and I would think, oh, it's all been a fluke. You know, I just maybe had like a good month. The last month's just been really good. This is how it's going to be. And then I would start to panic. I'd be like, how am I going to pay everyone? How am I going to pay myself? How am I going to pay my rent? What happens if it carries on like this? And, you know, and so like, even when you're in this good mindset, let's say you've trained yourself to have a better mindset, sometimes you're going to slip again, and you're going to have to say, hey, stop that. You know, it's all good. Like, have faith, have hope, keep doing what you're doing, and, you know, doing it everything 100% and doing it well, and it will come again. And, you know, I have to sort of, you know, check myself again, say, hey, don't go back there, wait to that place, you know. And so do you find that often with the people that you're mentoring and coaching, that they're good, and then suddenly, you know, something happens and they spiral into this negative mindset and have to sort of say to themselves, hey, don't go there again?
It is so easy to enter into a spiral of doom, I call it. What I train my clients to do, and what I coach people on, is having like buffers in place, so that, yeah, we all have a moment where we're like, uh-oh, but it takes you this far down, as opposed to right down, plummeting down to the bottom. You know, it knocks you off course for minutes or maybe an hour, not a day or a week. And that is really what I think the best thing to have in place is that, like a safety net. Because working on your mindset, it's a muscle. Your brain's a muscle. Just like you might go, right, okay, this is the year I'm going to have super strong abs. It's the same. You are not going to get that amazing strong core from just one trip to the gym. You could do one super intense, amazing workout, but you don't do anything the rest of the week, it's going to wear off. And mindset work is exactly the same. How I teach people to do mindset work is to have steps in place where it's almost on a bit of an autopilot so that it doesn't become like another thing you have to do. So, for example, there's so many ways you can get little bits of mindset work into your day. And yes, it's like forming any new habit. It takes time. You have to repeat it consciously until it becomes an automatic response. But that is the best way I find for something that can, a cancellation, finding, the next week is quieter than you realized. Just then, it's a blip, not a real downer. It doesn't derail you for long. And that is really the way to do things, I think.
You also taught tools. Can you briefly just tell us maybe like one or two ways in which we can sort of change our mindset if we're in this sort of negative spiral, things that we could do maybe on a daily basis?
Yeah, definitely. Okay, 3 things that I think everybody can get into their day. And if you're thinking, I'm so short of time, right, don't panic. These just take a couple of minutes. And again, you can have this done. You can have it set up so that you don't even really have to think about it. So what you want to be doing is resetting your brain to positive throughout the day, because it's a bit like the healthy eating or working out in the gym. You have to kind of keep at it because it's just going to wear off. It doesn't matter if you did a spin class at 6 p.m. If you have McDonald's for lunch and something like that unhealthy for dinner, you're not going to be building that dream healthy body that you want. And mindset stuff is just the same. So 3 easy things people can do. One is gratitude. It is the quickest way out of feeling like, it's easy. We can all get into that, oh, wow, weather, my area. I'm too old, young, my hair's too straight, curly, brown, whatever. We can all get into that state. So if you can have gratitude for what you already have, maybe it's not your dream car, but it's getting you from A to B. Maybe you're only seeing one client that day, but having gratitude for that amazing client, for the opportunity to help them, and for the time. You've now got time to work on your business, your family, work on yourself, do other things, having it from a positive place, so having gratitude for everything, your cup of tea, your warm bed, your hot shower, starting your day with gratitude. I get people, when they wake up, just think 5 things, 10 things you feel grateful for. It's such a nice way to start the day. It doesn't take any time up, but it's such a lovely way to set up for the day. Next thing, affirmations. So an affirmation is just a positive, like, I am statement. And you can pick things that you're currently working on. So maybe you're working towards a particular financial goal. Maybe you're working on your diary being full. Maybe you're working on being more confident. Maybe you're working on doing more marketing. So you can make an affirmation about anything that you want to be working on. Some of my favorite ones are people love to pay me money. I also love my dream clients find me and book my services. I've used that for years and years because it's, as you said, Megan, as soon as you go, quiet day, 2 quiet days, part of your brain is like, well, you better go and get a job then. And I know I've felt that as a riding instructor many times. Whereas if you just keep focusing on people want my work, I help people, and those people are out there, they will come because they always come if you stay in that positive mindset. So yeah, make some affirmations. You can say them, you can write them out, or you can have them ping up on your phone as reminders. I love to have them printed out and stuck around. You could have them in your car. You could open up your diary, for example, and it could say, congratulations on hitting whatever your monthly financial goal is. I open a drawer in my wardrobe and it says, you're an amazing wife and mother. And well, oh, thank you very much. It's like, I'm just getting dressed and it's such a nice, easy, no effort on my part. I mean, I put them in these ages ago, years ago. Even now, it's just still taking, oh, lovely, thank you. I'll take that one. It's so easy to do. So, I can send you guys over some affirmations if that would be helpful, Megan, for people to use. but you can just Google them. You can find them, or take what you struggle with and turn it into a positive. Print them out, stick them up, say them, write them, think them, feel them. Say them when you're driving, have them in your grouping box, whatever it is, where you'll see them. And just let that be that reset back to positive. My final speedy thing for positive mindset is having a picture in your head of what you're trying to create. Now, your brain sees in pictures. So if I say the word horse, if I say to you, right, picture the word horse, you're not going to picture the letters horse, you're going to picture an actual horse. That's how our minds work, how our brains work. So if you can get clear on what it is you're trying to create, is it the new horse? Is it the new car? Is it another client? Is it having someone to help you in your business? Picture it. And why don't you fall asleep each night to that picture? Like, we know mental rehearsal works. It's worked on athletes for years and years and years. We know that you can practice a sport, and when you get good at practicing a sport in your head, your body will respond in the same way as if you were actually swinging a golf club or playing tennis or riding around a cross-country course, whatever it is. I find it incredible. Your subconscious doesn't know the difference between you pretending to do it, practicing mentally, and actually doing it. So your last task, as you fall asleep, pull up that image of what you want, and you can make it really real. You could be in your practice seeing an extra patient or extra 5 patients, whatever it is you wanted. You could be out at a yard treating an extra horse. You could be driving into your dream car, pulling up at your dream house, whatever it is you're wanting to create, or having more time in your day. You could be dreaming of a day off. You can just picture that, make that real, practice that mentally, and it's like setting that supercomputer as you sleep. Your subconscious, as you sleep, is going, okay, that's what we're going for. And that is when the magic starts to happen. That's when opportunities come your way, synchronicities start to happen, and it all starts changing. So 3 super easy things to build in, but don't make mindset another thing on your list. Like, make it easy. I do not like things to take up lots of time. You can build it in on autopilot and have so much fun with it.
I love it. So it's practice gratitude every day.
Yes.
Practice say your affirmations.
Yeah.
Number 3, have a picture in mind of where you want to be and what you would like to achieve. And I love that affirmation. So I do that every single morning. Every morning I practice gratitude and I say my affirmations. And guys, if I can give you some advice with the affirmations, think about things, like Nicola said, like, I'm a great wife and mother. So like, you might be thinking, I work so hard, like maybe I'm not spending enough time with my kids. And, so whatever you're struggling with, all right, that's the thing that you're going to have the affirmation of. So you're going to tell yourself that you're actually good at that. You've got a negative feeling about, let's say you say, I really am not confident with hip dysplasia cases, for example. And your affirmation will be, I am really confident and I treat hip dysplasia cases very successfully and have great outcomes. That would be your affirmation, right?
Yeah.
That sounds
and
good.
If you don't quite feel there now, it could be, I'm becoming more confident. I'm getting better and better at treating whatever case it is. Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
And I think with gratitude, just all the time feeling grateful. You've got the parking space you wanted. Grateful that your next patient is on time. It doesn't just have to be at, the start of the day. I think it's really lovely when you can just build it in. You're standing in a queue at the supermarket, a new till opens. I'm like, yes, thank you. That's just what I needed. The lights change green. Sometimes we're so busy moaning that we're, so much traffic, or we're running late, or whatever it is. We still don't see all the good things that are coming our way already.
And they posted, I practice gratitude, affirmations, and visualize what you want or where you want to be. So those are the 3 things. And then earlier when we were talking about the marketing, I don't know who it is, but somebody said in my first year, whenever I had a free day with no clients book, I just popped down to another animal-related business to say hello and introduce myself. That's awesome. Great. Networking is so important. And then Anae also said she's really looking forward to this. Having the right mindset is the most important start to have a successful business, which is so true. I wanted to bring up, so this mindset thing just reminds me of another interview that I did, and that was with Katie Ford. Do you know Katie Ford? She's a vet based in the UK.
I think I've come across her on Instagram. I don't know her personally.
Yeah, so she, like, her main thing is like imposter syndrome, and so I interviewed her on my podcast, and it was so interesting. Here she is, this successful vet who's got a med vet in medicine, so a master's in medicine. And she said, she just always felt inferior, like there was something she was missing all the time. And she had this constant feeling like, if I study this, once I get that qualification, then I'll be like more confident and I'll feel better. And she would do that, and then she didn't feel any different. And then she'd say, okay, well, it must be the next thing. So once I do this, then I would feel that way. And I think that there's a little bit of, a connection between the imposter syndrome and mindset, right? Often with imposter syndrome, we don't really even know we have it. We just keep thinking we're seeking more knowledge or seeking something, and we're not sure why we're having these sort of feelings of self-doubt and not believing in ourselves. Is this something that you come across with coaching your vet rehab therapists?
All the time. I believe for a successful business as a therapist, you need three things. You obviously need the ability to do the job. Yeah, you need the knowledge and skills. Then you simply need to believe you're amazing at it. And then you just need to tell everybody. And that's the marketing and the mindset stuff. But what I see is that people put all their focus, all their time, all their financial investments on more skills, more certificates, more CPD, more continuing ed. And then, just, as you said, it doesn't give them kind of the hit or the sudden, full diary that they're expecting. And I think at some point you have to just go, okay, I'm qualified enough for now. It's not to say I don't think you should always be trying to, hone your skills and get more knowledge. Of course, like I'm always working on being better at coaching people for sure. But at some point you've got to draw the line and go, okay, this is gonna be enough. I'm gonna run with what I've got. I can add more later, and then you're gonna have to tackle the other two. And I think sometimes it feels so awkward, so uncomfortable, and so scary to dig into, why do I not feel good enough? Why do I not want to shout about my business? That it's easier to just chase another weekend course, another investment in this, more CPD points. And that people just don't want to address the scary stuff, like, what is underneath those feelings, because it does feel uncomfortable. And I think that if you can actually just go, okay, my skills are enough for right now, I can always, hone them and get more down the line, but I'm going to have to work on me for a bit. That will just get people so much further. And it's so, I think it really, really holds people back. And there's so many people doing a great job on the surface, but yet feeling really rubbishy at the same time. And working on yourself, yes, it's going to feel uncomfortable to start with, but it really is the gateway to everything happening with so much ease. When you can just release some of this stuff, it's like you've been carrying this kind of like heavy rucksack around with you. And when you can take it off, you didn't even realize how heavy it was. You're like, you can just breathe such a big sigh of relief. So yeah, I think stop chasing some of the extra certificates, extra trainings, decide that what you've got is enough, your skills are enough, and focus on the other two parts.
Yeah, I mean, I think it is that, we believe in never stop learning. So like continually learning, but having that acceptance, right, that you're never going to know everything. And I think that that's what people are chasing. They're chasing having all the knowledge, like they are the master of something, but it's always changing. And you sort of, once you get to that point where you accept that you're on a lifelong learning journey, right? You're never going to stop learning. You're going to learn every day. And it's okay to know what you know, as long as you are trying to excel and and you know that you're learning every day and you're doing your best, then just accepting that it's okay. And it's also okay that other people know more than you. You learn from other people, so it always amazes me. We do some surveys at Onlinepethealth, and we've had a few where People have said, they don't think that they can learn anything more from anyone else. I've had a few people say that, and it amazes me. I think to myself, oh, how can you think that you know everything? And you can't ever know everything. There's just so much to learn. But just accept that you're doing your part and that you are learning and you're constantly improving yourself. And as long as you are on that path to constant improvement and constantly trying to be a better therapist, trying to learn more, trying to do more, improve your cases, and just accept where you are, then you can be in a better place. But it's a hard place to get to. And it's very, very easy to keep thinking, especially when there's like negative talk that comes into your head, that mindset stuff. And I remember for me, it was always when I was very confident in certain cases, but then when maybe a vet would question something that I did or would say, I don't think you should have done that or something like that, then I would, that's when the imposter syndrome would come in. I would think do I actually know what I'm doing? At the time I thought that was the right thing, but is that actually the right thing? And then I would start to question, and then the next case would come in and then I'd be like, should I maybe get some advice about this? Am I actually qualified enough, or am I experienced enough? And all those sort of negative talk comes in. And I think as long as you're practicing within your boundaries as to what knowledge you have, so as long as you're doing things that, you're qualified to do and, you accept it, that this is what you know, and don't go out of your boundaries. So, for example, let's say you haven't learned a skill and you don't really know how to do it, and you think, well, let me just try, and there's a potential that you could harm the animal, then you're obviously crossing the boundaries. But yeah, it's a great topic. And for those of you that are interested, go and listen to that imposter syndrome podcast. If you feel like that, if you feel like you've got a bit of self-doubt, Katie really came up, and I can't remember all the steps that she gave. I think there were 5 steps to help you through the imposter syndrome. It was really a good podcast.
Yeah, that's fantastic. I know it's something I've definitely experienced as a rider, but I think it really goes back to acknowledging what you've already done. We've already had success in, like we talked about that success list. I think that would be a really great springboard to realizing actually you can do it. And it's okay for other people to have different opinions. It's okay, as you said, Megan, to getting input from fellow professionals. That's how you do the best job. And as you said, it's dangerous when we think, I don't need anybody. I know everything.
Nicola, thank you so much. It's been wonderful chatting to you, and I'm so looking forward to all your trainings. So Nicola is going to be doing a whole lot of trainings in the business basics area for the Online Pet Health membership. So Online Pet Health members, head over to the business basics area. You'll see the latest one, mindset, and yeah, we've got a few coming up over the next few months. So really looking forward to learning from you. Thanks so much, Nicola.
Love to see everyone today. Thanks so much, Megan. See you all soon. Bye.
Awesome. Cheers, guys. If you enjoyed this podcast, please hit the subscribe button so you get notified every time I load a new podcast. And please, if you get a moment, head over to Stitcher or iTunes and leave me a review. It's a really lonely job being a podcaster, and so the only time I get to hear from you or know that you're out there is when I get a review. And know that I read every single one of your reviews. So to those of you that have left reviews, I want to say a very, very big thank you. Every time we get a review, it really helps to get the veterinary rehabilitation podcast out there to all the vet rehabbers all over the world. All right, vet rehabbers, so if you are looking for more continuing education in the field of veterinary rehabilitation, head over to onlinepethealth.com. Go be awesome, guys.